Hello there, Virgo. Thank you so much for stopping by for your weekly tarot video forecast. This forecast is for the week of May the 23rd, May the 23rd through the 29th. Got a little piece of dust in my throat all of a sudden. I apologize. So let's see. While I'm shuffling, I am going to tell you guys this is a general reading, meaning not everything that I come up with here will be applicable to every single Virgo that watches this. However, most of it will apply to most of you. And we are going to get started. Let's get some cards down. By the way, if you guys would like to have a private reading where I can look at just your energies alone, where it'll all apply to you, then you can book a private reading. Just reach out to me and we'll get that scheduled. All you have to do is go to my website at the top of the screen and get my contact information. And yeah, then just reach out to me. Let's take a peek at your cards. All right, so Virgo, we're going to start with the weekend. Look at those cards and then we'll dive into them and then we'll start looking at the week. So for Saturday, you guys have the 10 of Cups showing up here. We like that card. And for Sunday, you have the Sun card showing up in reverse. We like that card too. So very nice weekend. So 10 of Cups talks about happiness, and it's this happiness that has to do with it's happiness in a group or happiness in a family. So this just talks about that you're with other people and just really, finding happiness, satisfaction, fulfillment, all of those types of things. So very good, very good. And then on Sunday, the Sun card in reverse. I'm never really surprised whenever the Sun card comes out on Sunday, but I do like to point it out because it's just fun. So Sun card in reverse just talks about the idea, once again, you're not doing something alone. You may be doing something with less of a group, like a smaller group, maybe one other person even, but you're doing something that makes you feel good, satisfied, fulfilled, and you're doing it without anybody looking over your shoulder, breathing down your neck, trying to set deadlines or tell you how to do things. You may be compromising a little bit so that you're both enjoying the experience, or you and however many other people. But for the most part, you're doing this exactly, whatever this is, exactly the way that you want to. So that's very nice. Now let's take a peek at your week. We're going to run through the cards really quick and then come back and talk about them just like we did the weekend. Monday, 3 of Wands showing up in reverse. Tuesday, Queen of Pentacles also in reverse. By the way, we don't stress out about reversals on this channel, so don't stress out about them just because they're here. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Strength card in reverse on Wednesday. 9 of Wands, right side up on Thursday. And Chariot in reverse on Friday. So let's see what's going on here. Time to dive into the energy. Okay, so Monday. That 3 of Wands in reverse, all this means is that Monday you're just staying very present and aware. You're not worrying about the future. You're not feeling regrets about the past. You're just staying very much in the moment, present and calm in the moment. Nice card, actually. It talks about the be here now philosophy. You're being here now on Monday. Okay, now, Queen of Pentacles showing up in reverse on Tuesday. This has a very specific meaning for me. This says that there's somebody in your life, Virgos, that you have been very generous with. Whether you were generous with your money, with your energy, with your effort, with your time, with your resources, whatever. And you did that in the hopes that that would help this other person sort of get a leg up. But instead of getting a leg up, all they've been getting is more dependent on you. All right. And I think you're realizing that on Tuesday, and on Tuesday, you are shutting off that generosity. You're like, this is not helping you. In fact, it's putting you in a worse situation. It's time for me to stop this. So I think that you are cutting that off. I feel like some of you are cutting that off very calmly, very thoughtfully, very, communicating that very well. Others of you, it's going to be more of just like sudden silence. They're texting me because they want more money. They're texting me because they want to borrow the lawnmower. Delete. Not even answering. For some of you. Then, like I said, the other ones, you guys are thinking it out very well. You're communicating it very well. So it's going down a couple different ways depending on your own self and your own situation. Wednesday. This is interesting because we've got the Strength card in reverse, which has to do with self-esteem. It says, man, my self-esteem isn't very high. And with it being right behind the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, I think that a lot of you may be feeling a little bit guilty about cutting off this generosity, even though it was making you more codependent than it was actually helping you or helping this other person. But there is this idea that self-esteem sort of is taking a hit Wednesday because you're really looking at this and you're being hard on yourself or this situation. Now, I can tell you with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, though, you were doing everything you could do. Okay? I don't know if the other person just couldn't meet you halfway or if they didn't choose to or if they thought they could just like coast along on the free ride forever, but they weren't making forward progress and you totally wanted to help them make forward progress. So I would say don't beat yourself up over what this was that happened. Okay? Now, boop, ba, doo, doo, doo. Look at you on Thursday. 9 of Wands, making preparations for something. Building up your fort, building up your defenses. That's what I feel like. Because look at Friday. Friday we have the Chariot in reverse. You ain't going nowhere, honey. I think Thursday you're preparing to not go anywhere. So I don't know if you have a trip planned for Friday that you're supposed to be going on. Thursday, you're laying the groundwork. You know what? I don't want to go to that. I've changed my mind. So you're laying the groundwork for that. You may be letting other people know. You may be doing some other things to get prepared for that. But Chariot in reverse, nope, you ain't going. Now, I think you're choosing not to go because of this card. I'm tying these together as kind of a theme. It could be that you do plan to go and then the car acts up. Maybe the car needs to have a tire change or something like that. That could be going on too. Battery could be dead, something like that. But I really feel like this is you deciding, you know what, I don't want to go on that trip after all. And on Thursday, you're letting somebody know I'm not going to be there. And doing whatever other preparations you need to not go on a trip. Usually we have preparations to go on a trip. Virgo, you're over here making preparations to not go on a trip. Anyway, you guys have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me. I appreciate you all. I'm sure I'll see some of you here this week in between videos, but the rest of you, I'll see back on the next video. Peace out.